Hello and welcome to Faithfully Stampin' with Jennifer Helm. I am Jennifer Helm, the Faithful Stamper, and I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. I have today for you a fun technique. It's called a rocker card, and the reason why is because the card is circular and folded in half, so when you stand it up, it'll actually rock a little bit back and forth. So I actually took that very literally and I paired it with the Rockstar stamp set. So it's a rock and roll rocker card that I'm going to show you how to make tonight. It's very easy. You do need circular dies of some sort or a circular pattern that you can trace and cut out. And so I'm going to show you our deckled circle dies. Here, actually, let me finish showing you the card first. So there's the inside. These are very quick and easy. Once you figure out how to do one, you can rock and roll, pun intended, through them in no time at all. So our deckled circle dies are fantastic. I really think they are a must-have for your crafting area because there are 14 dies in this set. Circles of various sizes, very large. This will fit in the, barely in the large cut and emboss machine that we have, down to the smallest ones. Now, the largest is not the size you want to use. It would be too big for a regular envelope. If you want them to fit in a A2 envelope, you need the second largest, which is hiding for our card base, and then I'm using the next size smaller to create the layer or the interior of the card. But having 14 of these shapes, that is a fantastic addition to your craft room. They are $37 for the entire set, and again, they are our deckled circles. So I did pre-cut some of the materials today, but I will show you the die cutting a little bit later on a different piece. So to start, we have a basic black deckled circle, the second largest one there. All we need to do is fold it. Now, if you can fold this in half and not make a mess of it, more power to you, because I do not have that gift. So my little post-it here is actually a cheat. This die is a little bit larger than 5 1/4 inches across, and so I needed to divide that in half, and I'm not fantastic with math, especially when we're breaking it down to 8ths and 16ths and all that fun stuff. So I figured out where the halfway point is, and I put a little post-it there so I could kind of tell. So I needed about halfway here, so I just have it pushed up to the top about halfway through there on the edge, and then my scoring blade only, no cutting, just scoring, back and forth, and there I have created my card base. Now I always fold it in half and then I check to see how I did. Now I did pretty close, but I'm a little bit off. So if that happens to you and you're not 100% lined up, don't panic, don't cut another one. Make sure that the part that is shorter is the back of your card, and just flip it to the front so that the front is larger, and that way nobody sees it. So that's perfect. If you want to stamp your personalized stamp on the back, go ahead and do that before you get too involved with the card. Doing the inside and the back of the card, any stamping, is much more difficult, especially after you've glued the front of it on. We'll get to that in a minute, but I just want to give you that reminder because do as I say, not as I do. I did that a couple times and it was a little difficult. So I'm trying to remind you, make it easy for yourself. All right, so next up, we use that third largest circle, and I cut a circle. This one was about 5 inches from the Rock and Roll Designer Series paper that coordinates with the Rockstar set. And then I cut that in half, and I also cut a circle out of basic white, and I cut that in half as well. And these are going to be on the inside of our card and then the front. Now you do not need any special glue. Your favorite adhesive is perfect. I bring my silicone mat out for this because I prefer my tape runner to liquid glue, and I don't want to get glue all over my work surface. So I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal and get as close to the edges as possible because I don't want the paper to lift once I put it on the card. So I'm gonna turn this sideways so I can get a better view of what I'm doing. And I'm just gonna line the paper up. I'm gonna try to center it and then line it up right against that score line. I don't want it to go over because I don't want it overhanging. I would have to trim the edges, but I did pretty good there. All right, so there's the front. And now I'm gonna do some stamping for the inside and the front decorations. So first up, I'll decorate my interior piece. I am using tonight for my inside sentiment, Enjoy the Rhythm of Each Day. This is from the Enjoy the Rhythm stamp set that is in our annual catalog. And then the decorations are from the Rockstar set. This is in our spring mini that runs till the end of April 2024. And I just found out today both of these sets are retiring. If you would like to see a paper catalog, either the ones that are retiring or the new ones coming, and you don't already have a demonstrator that you're working with, please feel free to get in touch with me. I'm happy to send you one. Otherwise, check out the website and be sure to tune in or check it out in about 2 weeks, and you will see all the items that are leaving on our last chance list, including these fun sets. I did not know when I made this card that these were retiring. So I just thought it was fun to have rock and roll with a rocker card. So I am using Tuxedo Black Memento ink. This is my go-to black when I need black ink for stamping. It's also great for coloring with my Stampin' Blends, which I do a lot. So I'm going to stamp my inside sentiment here. Make sure I've got this relatively straight. And then I am going to make this card in Daffodil Delight. The one that I showed you is in Coastal Cabana, but I want to mix up my colors a little bit. So I'm going to add an accent to the inside with Daffodil Delight ink. And I have this cool, jazzy little lightning bolt to accent the inside, like so. And then while I've got it in my hand, I'm going to accent my envelope as well. And I think that's all I need the Daffodil Delight ink for, so that's going to get put away. Then to the rest of the card, I have used the dies from the Rockstar set. Actually have them tucked right in here today, so I didn't lose them. And I'm using the guitar pick. I've pre-cut this, and then I'm going to show you the guitar in a minute. But there's, I love these cutouts. The microphone is cut out, the drumstick, the lightning bolts and the stars are accents, and the banner that says "You're a rock star" is cut out as well. Okay, so I have my guitar pick, and I'm going to stamp on that. Now, larger stamps, especially the one I'm going to use in a minute, I like to bring my ink pad to the stamp. It's just a little easier than me trying to make sure I get full coverage on the stamp by hitting the ink pad. It's a lot easier to hit the stamp with the ink pad in my hand like this. It just depends on the size of the stamp. This is a red rubber cling stamp, so I don't need a foam mat underneath. It's already got foam built in. And I love that kind of brush stroke text look here. So I'm going to set that to the side for just a minute, and I'm going to stamp the guitar. Now this is a long, skinny stamp, so again, much easier to bring my ink to the stamp. I go back and forth a couple times, make sure I have good coverage. Sometimes with the Memento, I wiggle it a little bit. Okay. I think that's good. And on my Daffodil Delight cardstock, I'm going to give it kind of a good press to make sure I get everywhere. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to cover my ink pad up so I don't have a disaster. So now I'm going to die cut this out. And I brought over my mini cut and emboss machine so I can show you how I'm going to die cut. So this is our mini machine. Kind of give you a good view of it here. We have two sizes of the machine, the regular cut and emboss, which has a wider surface and cuts all those circles. Obviously, the one that I used for the card base would not fit in here. So this is more narrow. It fits the narrower mini embossing folders, which are about half size, and small dies. This is great to travel with if you know you're not doing any big pieces of die cutting or embossing. And it comes with plates that have instructions written on them, so you know exactly what to do. So for die cutting, use with thin dies. That is what I am using, is our thin die cut here of the guitar. So I need this plate and then 2 clear ones. So I have one that's my cutting plate and one that's my top plate. So let's see. You do need to flip your plates from time to time, otherwise they will warp. And let's see here, I'm trying to get it to balance. You can use washi tape to hold down your dies if you do not have a magnetic plate. We do not have a magnetic plate for this little one. And I don't have good luck with tape. It always tears my paper, so I'm just gonna wing it. And a rule of thumb to go by is stagger your plates a little bit. Don't have all 3 lined up in a row because for some reason the machine doesn't want to take it even though it's the right thickness. Just stagger them a little bit. Either have them kind of slightly offset 1, 2, 3, or have the middle plate in a little bit longer or a little bit shorter than the outside ones. Then roll it through till it catches. Pardon the mini earthquake. There we go. And then, look at that. Fantastic, bright, happy guitar. So now I'm going to bring over all my pieces. A little trick that I want to suggest is have your envelope handy when you are putting your card together, because the worst thing to do would be to get your beautiful card all put together and then realize it wasn't going to fit in the envelope because of the way you did it. So I realized when I was putting this together, I thought, oh, I have to be careful. So I thought, use your envelope as your guide, because these do fit in the A2 envelopes. So just keep that in mind. You can glue everything on flat, or you can pop it with dimensionals. I'm going to glue a little bit of each, or do a little bit of each. So I just keep an eye here and figure out how low I need to keep my adhesive. Obviously, I don't want to glue it to my envelope. And I always err a little bit on the side of caution. So let's see here. I could have even done the guitar pick in a different color and done 2 different colors, but all right. So here I'm gonna look and see where I wanna put my dimensionals. So I want one just on the very base of the neck of the guitar and then on the body. And let's see, here's my dimensionals. Again, I could have glued this flat. I don't have any minis out. I currently have them packed up. I had a workshop over the weekend and I haven't quite unpacked everything yet. So I'm gonna use an edge piece there. I always cut up the edges to make full use of my full sheet of dimensionals. And if I can peel the backing off this, we are almost done. These are very quick, very easy cards to put together. Once you make one, you can definitely roll through a lot of them. They're fun, they're easy, and I found, especially when I was, I haven't glued, here, before I do that, I broke my own rule. I told you about stamping, but I forgot to glue it. I'm glad I did that before I got any more dimension on here. It's just a lot easier because when you go to open it, then your focal point is in your way. That one, ooh, that was close. Almost had that glued down. Might be a little bit crooked, but that's okay. All right, now, glad I caught that. Much, much easier here. Okay. There we go. One last thing to finish up. the Rockstar bundle has the DSP that coordinates and our adhesive-backed lightning and stars as well. And they're white Daffodil Delight, and I think it's Coastal Cabana, might be Pool Party, but either way, I want the contrast here. And so I'm going to juggle. Actually, I think I'm going to put the larger one down there. Small star up here. And there is my rock and roll rocker card, which will fit nicely in an envelope, and somebody would love to have that up on their table or counter to see. At least I hope so. And you can very easily do this in different colors, as you can see here. And let's see, I have one more. I wanted to have lots of colors of this card because we have girl rockers too, right? So there we go. And then I have one more to show you, and I just changed up the card a little bit, different DSP, and I use the You're a Rock Star design on the front instead. Okay. So now other designs that don't use our Rockstar set. Pardon me. So Easter is in 2 weeks, and I made an Easter bonnet. So I used no DSP on this card. I used embossed cardstock. I don't know if you can see. There we go. Now you can see a little bit of the embossing. So I used the card base, I cut my circle in half and ran it through the embossing machine. And then I used a whole deckled circle, 2 layers, larger layer and then a slightly smaller one, that one embossed. And I tucked the ribbon behind that before I glued it down. I have a nice big bow for my Easter bonnet. This is a little bulky. I would have to put extra postage on if I wanted to mail this. And then I die cut, or actually, pardon me, I used Memento, I colored with my blends, and then I fussy cut. There is no die for this. I fussy cut the flowers, because all hats need some flowers, right? And then I die cut my banner. These are both from the Easter Bunny set that is also retiring at the end of April. And then here I stamped directly in the card. I made a lot of these 2 at a time because I could cut my circle for the inside and then make 2 cards with the circle cut in half. So these are, I don't know that I would mass produce these, but if you want to make a handful, it's really easy to do so. All right, so we're backtracking a little bit for holidays here, but I have a sweet Valentine card with our Be My Valentine. So here I took use of those deckled circles and added my message to the front, and then used the Bumblebee Builder Punch. And then You'll Always Be the One for Me. And then kind of along the same theme, I used our fluffiest. I stamped him in Memento, colored him with my blends, and then used the deckled circles there. The honey, the beehive is from the coordinating die set that goes with that. My saying is from the Be My Valentine set. And there we go. I would personally love to have that sitting and looking at me around Valentine's Day, or any time of year, I guess. Very, very cute. Then this next one is fun and definitely for summer. I created a slice of watermelon using Lemon Lime Twist and Berry Burst. I happen to have some great DSP for that, and this set just retired. It was from our Celebration set that you could earn for free. So if you happen to pick that up, this is a great card to try. Now, I realized something. I used a punch to get my watermelon effect here, like a little chomp was taken out of that. And it was a little bit of a struggle because the double layer of card is thicker than the punch was used to. I had to muscle it, but I did get it. I tried with a die cut first. I actually tried with one of the deckled circles, but folding it in half like this was too much for the card, and I realized belatedly what I should have done is before I put any of the decoration on, gone to cut it out, I should have opened it up and used a small circle, and that would have worked. But as it was, since it didn't cut through, I switched gears and used a punch. So just, you have options there if you want to try the watermelon card. And that was just a fun one and definitely summery. And then last but not least, I wanted to show you one final one. I think it was a toss-up if the watermelon or the little bird was my favorite. This bird is one of my favorite stamps from the Inspirational Sketches set, but I wanted to show you, you don't have to use circles or guitar picks. You can use any shape you want. So here I used our Stylish Shapes. I did fussy cut the bird, but it was pretty simple. And then this one is just blank inside for my message. But I would definitely, I'm thinking about putting this one on the shelf in my office because it's just so pretty. It's my colors, and that little bird is right up my alley. So I hope you enjoyed learning how to make the rocker card technique. If you haven't already, I would love for you to be a subscriber here on my channel. I typically post videos once a week, and if you click the notification bell, you'll get a little notification each time a video is posted. You can also follow me over on Facebook as The Faithful Stamper if you are so inclined. I talk more there about specials and products, different things that Stampin' Up! Is offering, and anything personal that I have going on as far as the business and projects to share. So thank you so much for watching. Take care and happy crafting.